With the Silver Spoon chapter notes, see the end of the chapter for notes A or B. Alia's eyes ping-ponged between the two dresses, legs crossed on the end of Marinette's bed as Marinette rocked back and forth expectantly. B is nice. Nice, Marinette said, glancing at the dress dangling from her right hand. Nice like you'd wear it to a friend's wedding when you're single, or nice like you'd wear it to a distant cousin's wedding when you're with someone. What's the differ? Alia's brows furrowed for a moment. Wait. One is where you're there to hook up with someone, and one is where you don't care what you look like. Ah, you do read my blog, Marinette said, shaking her hangers again. A or B? In that case A, Alia said. B looks like you got the wedding invitation 3 days before the wedding and you didn't want to go, but your parents made you. Thanks, Marinette said, frowning at dress B for a moment before hanging it back up on the rack. Her fingers skimmed the rows of multicolored fabric, plucking another one out of the rack and holding up to the winner of the last round. Same question. Tell me again, why is the fashion designer seeking fashion advice from someone who has worn the same pair of jeans 3 days in a row this week? Alia asked. I need a fresh eye, Marinette said, glancing over her clothes rack. I've seen all these dresses so many times I can't tell them apart anymore, and they say our generation doesn't face real problems, Alia said, standing up and running a finger down the row of hangers. Though I still don't know why you're spending so much time picking out a dress if Adrian's just going to rip it off you the minute you walk through the door. He's not going to rip it off me the second I walk through the door, Marinette scoffed, cheeks coloring as she contemplated that possibility. The guy basically needs a written invitation for everything. That what you guys did on Tuesday? Alia snorted, hip-checking Marinette. Fill out the written invitation. Something like that, Marinette said. Before or after you were brought to a shuddering pleasure by the sound of his oh-so-sexy voice, Alia snickered. Shut up, Marinette mumbled, scratching the back of her neck. Why do I keep telling you these things? I'm surprised you don't orgasm every time he opens his mouth to order lunch, Alia said, picking up one of Marinette's discarded dresses and holding it up to herself with a small sigh and shake of her head. Personally, I've never found myself even slightly aroused by the sound of his voice, but it's not like his regular voice, Marinette said, picking out a yellow sundress and glancing at it for a moment before tossing it on the bed. It's much rumblier. Is it the Christian Bale Batman voice? Alia snorted. Did he make your toes curl by asking you where the Joker is? Okay, this is why I'm trying to pick out the perfect dress, Marinette said, jabbing a naked hanger into Alia's side. I mean, seriously, I didn't last 10 minutes with him purring in my ear like a cat in heat. I got out sexy D by him bell to bell. I got maybe 1 or 2 shots in when I brought up costumes, but other than that, sorry, are you talking about sex or a competition? Alia asked. Yes, Marinette said after a moment, pulling a garment bag out from her closet with a small tilt of her head. And I need to play catch up. Slow down, you already got him in bed, Alia said, rolling her eyes. I'd be more worried about getting a first date out of him at this point. I told you we weren't going to be like that, Marinette said, idly biting a stray thread off her dress. Yeah, remind me again why you lied and said you didn't want anything serious. Because I don't know if I do, Marinette said, doing her best to ignore Alia slowly turning to face her as though Marinette had just said she enjoyed having sex with men dressed in giant dancing lobster costumes. I'm sorry, what? Alia said, taking off her glasses and pinching the bridge of her nose. You have had a massive raging crush on this boy since you were old enough to have massive raging crushes on boys, and now that you have him right where you want him, you don't know if you want to fucking date him. I don't, Marinette said. Why? Alia squeaked. Because I've been thinking about it and I'm not exactly girlfriend material right now, Marinette sighed, pushing her hair out of her eyes. Alia gaped behind her, hand hovering in front of her as if it were torn between wanting to pat her on the shoulder and smack her upside the head. I'm sorry, how did you arrive at this absolutely guano conclusion? Alia said. I mean, Marinette bit her lip. I work 50 hours a week trying to carve out a corner of the fashion industry for myself. I like to sketch and sew until 3 in the morning. I blow off dates because I'm in a sweet designing groove and don't want to stop, and I spend my weekends either playing video games or sleeping. I mean, I don't know if I have the time to date. Well, you've been making plenty of time for Adrian for months now with no problem, right? Alia said. As friends, Marinette said. But relationships take work, you know. And I don't know if I can put in the work right now. At least not the kind of work we would deserve. Aaliyah opened her mouth to say something and just left it open when words failed her, running a hand through her hair and shaking her head while Marinette continued to leaf through her wardrobe. I can do friendship, Marinette said, biting her lip. I can do sex, besides, we already agreed this was just going to be friends being with friends. No stress, no mess, just him helping me get into something I've wanted to get into for a while now. Alright, Aaliyah said, pumping a squirt of hand sanitizer into her hands from a dispenser on the wardrobe and rubbing them together. I wash my hands of this, whatever this is. So long as you're happy. I will be, Marinette said with a small smile. And safe, Aaliyah said, squeezing Marinette's shoulder. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Adrian in a future brother-in-law kind of way, but I will kill him in cold blood if he hurts you. Thank you. With a cereal spoon. He won't, Marinette said, biting her lip with a devilish smirk. At least not in any way that's unpleasant. Okay, I'm cool with some of the X-rated tidbits you're dropping every now and then, but if you're going to talk about this thing of yours in the future, please spare me the details, Aaliyah said, suppressing a small shudder. Phone sex is fine, regular sex is also fine, but for the love of God I don't want the 50 Shades of Adrian. Fine, Marinette said, sticking her tongue out. I'll spare you the intricacies of our sex life if you help me choose a freaking dress, Alred. Thank you, Aaliyah said, turning back to the pile of dresses on the floor. Okay, so where did we land on the theme? Are you going for raven-haired Cedric dress or no? Marinette said, biting her thumb as she looked at her wardrobe for the third time that day. No, I'm looking for something a little more, me. Are you saying you aren't a raven-haired seductress? Aaliyah purred. Not for tonight, Marinette said, thumbing the hem of a light blue skirt. You want to look in the box on the floor of my closet. That's the other important part of my ensemble. What other important Aaliyah said with a knowing nod, sauntering over to Marinette's closet. The battle armor. Indeed, Marinette said, watched Aaliyah open the box with an anxious expression. She peeled the tissue paper away, eyebrows slowly raising and open mouth slowly transforming into a devious smile. Her eyes wandered between the open box and Marinette, cheeks flushing just a little bit as she did. Well, Marinette asked, already knowing that if she had managed to make Aaliyah blush she had hit a home run. Okay, number one, I want to know where you got these, Aaliyah said, fingers reaching out to touch the contents of the box before withdrawing almost reverently. 2. I need to start taking lingerie advice from you because good lord, why didn't you tell me you had such good taste in underthings? You're surprised that the fashion designer knows how to pick out cute underwear. Marinette said with a self-satisfied smirk. What do you think? You are going to kill that boy, Aaliyah said, closing the box and laying it on the bed as her eyes roamed over Marinette's dresses. That's the goal, Marinette sing-songed as Aaliyah suddenly reached out, plucking a dress from the rack and holding it up to the light. This one, Aaliyah said emphatically. I thought of that, Marinette said, tilting her head back and forth. But I thought it was too costumey considering the no, Aaliyah shook her head. It's perfectly costumey. Why do I want it to be costumey? Marinette asked. Marinette, you are not going out in this dress, Aaliyah said. You are not going to any runway shows, or trying to make a fashion statement for anyone but you and Adrian, right? Right. You're essentially getting dressed up so you look and feel like a wet dream and give Adrian a taste of his own medicine, Aaliyah said. So the conventions of fashion don't really apply. The conventions of fashion always apply, Marinette said gravely. Unless you're designing costumes or you're not dressing up for hot date, Aaliyah said, nodding at the dress. You're playing dress up, there's a difference. Marinette took the dress from Aaliyah, holding it up to herself as she turned to face her reflection in the mirror. Aaliyah watched over her shoulder as the wheels turned in Marinette's head and a toothy smile spread across her face. Okay, Marinette said, laying the dress on the bed. I'm going to take quick shower quick. Aaliyah snorted. I'm going to take the most invasive shower I have ever taken in my entire life and then we can head out, Marinette said. I won't be too long. Take your time, no need to rush when razors are involved, Aaliyah said, reclining on Marinette's bed as the door to the bathroom closed for a moment, only to open again. Aaliyah craned her neck up to see Marinette leaning on the edge of the doorframe, tilting her head to one side and looking Aaliyah over. Do you need something? Baby doll, Marinette said after a moment. Okay, do you need something, baby doll? Aaliyah said with a small frown as Marinette continued to look her over. Yeah, baby dolls and corsets would accentuate your figure, cage-backed panties would accentuate your, well, Marinette said thoughtfully tapping her finger on her chin. In warm, late summer early autumn colors. Although with your skin tone, it's hard to go wrong. Alia's mouth hung open as Marinette glanced her over one last time. Yeah, Marinette nodded. I'm going to give you my friend's business card. She works at the boutique I got mine at, she'll set you up. The door snapped shut behind her, leaving Alia to stare at the bathroom door, brow creased, head tilted to one side, and mouth slightly open. Thanks. One of the benefits of subbing, in Adrian's opinion, was the fact that all he had to do was show up, get naked, and do as he was told. As a switch, he had gotten grief from self-important doms in the past who couldn't understand how someone could derive so much pleasure from giving up control and subsequently challenged his ability to be a good dom if he enjoyed relinquishing such control. But even professional chefs enjoyed someone else cooking for them every now and then, if only because they didn't have to plan the meal for the night, fret about the choice of wine and appetizers, or triple check to make sure his guests weren't allergic to anything. Yet as much work as preparing a 5-course meal was, there was something to be said for the satisfaction on the face of a happy customer. So as much work as it was going to be figuring out how to prepare for Saturday, Adrian hoped he would get the same rise out of Marinette he did on Tuesday. Oh, fuck, Adrian, I'm, Adrian suppressed a small shudder, pressing a bottle of water against his neck to quell any further fantasies about half-naked Marinette sprawled out on a couch and moaning his name as she touched herself. He had spent more than enough time dwelling on that particular memory over the past week, imagination filling in the spaces created by the sounds she made for him to the point that he had to find things to take his mind off it until Saturday lest he overexert himself. At least Marinette had work to do. Adrian was forced to spend his days beating the hell out of his punching bag, immersing himself in looking for university courses, and of course plotting out Saturday night's itinerary. They had spoken a few times during the week over text, exchanging medical information mostly as a precaution, but other than that they had only chatted briefly, Marinette citing a project she needed to complete before the weekend. She hadn't been surprised or offended when he asked if she would do a routine checkup before they started playing, understanding that a clean bill of health on both sides was always a positive thing. Adrian glanced at the clock for the 30th time that night, pacing back and forth across the hardwood floor as he suddenly wished her had gone for a run or something before taking the most invasive shower of his life and getting dressed. He paused as he checked his reflection in the full-length mirror next to the couch, teasing his hair this way and that as he tried to look like he had rolled out of bed on the set of an Armani shoot. Adrian glanced down at his ensemble, teasing a few buttons of the white dress shirt tucked into a pair of black slacks open to see how they looked. If one button was too prudish and 3 buttons were too Fabio, 2 buttons managed to show just enough skin appropriate for a first date. Adrian shook his head with a small sigh. He had to put a stopper in that kind of thinking before Marinette got there, otherwise the evening and their relationship would be off to a bad start. It wasn't as though he had never been someone's special friend before, but his track record with platonic playdates wasn't exactly a winning one. Feelings always got involved, usually on his end, which led to awkward, borderline humiliating chats with his partners who inevitably had to break it to him that they didn't want him for anything more than physical friendship. Feelings got hurt again, on his end, and what had been barn-burning affairs inevitably grew cold before Adrian was on to the next country for work. In short, he sucked at being friends with benefits. But the fact that he had never attended a university class a day in his life didn't mean that he couldn't give it the old college try for Marinette's sake. She had come to him because she trusted him, and he wasn't going to betray that trust by mucking up their relationship with his wretched sentimentality. She was new to all this, and if he was her first choice, Adrian was going to make sure she never had to settle for number 2. Of course, it wasn't like he had agreed to sleep with her out of the goodness of his own heart or as though he were doing her some kind of favor, when the reality was that he was more than a little enamored with Marinette. Infatuated, maybe, but he wasn't about to let over-romanticized notions of sex get in the way of their friendship. It's just going to be sex, he reminded himself for the 100th time that week. Sex with an incredibly sweet, funny, smart woman who happens to have a butt that has haunted my waking dreams since March. Okay, good, focus on that, focus on the sex, focus on her soft, juicy lips that look so kissable when she smiles. Yeah, this was going to take some practice. Knock knock. Which apparently he didn't have time for. A soft rap on the front door drew his attention away from his own daydreams, sending his stomach swooping with sudden anxiety as he got up from his position on the couch, smoothed out his shirt and made his way over to the foyer. Through his foggy front windows, he could make out her silhouette standing on his porch, waiting for him to open the door. Waiting for him in general. Adrian took a deep breath, catching his reflection in the hallway mirror and pausing to make sure his practiced expression of casual, smoldering sexuality concealed his jittering nerves. I can do this, Adrian thought, taking a deep breath and reaching out for the handle. I can totally do this. I can be cool. I can be casual. I can be confident. He waited for a moment for the worst of his nerves to dissipate before slowly opening the front door. Hey, Adrian said as a gust of warm evening air blew in from the outside. How's it going? The moment the door opened, Adrian Agreste realized he was completely fucked. Super fucked. Mega fucked. Fucked beyond any fleeting hope of salvation that this night was going to make it any easier to get over the simmering crush on the absolutely stunning vision before him. Hi, Marinette said softly, looking up at him with a toothy, slightly nervous smile that shattered Adrian's carefully practiced expression of casual seductiveness like it was made of glass. Hi, Adrian said, suddenly remembering how to talk after having half the French language knocked out of his head. He didn't have to look quite so far down at her this time, though he supposed the polished black heels had something to do with it. His eyes traveled up her black nylon-clad legs, watching them disappear under the hem of her skirt. It was hard to tell if the red dress was strapless since her arms and shoulders were covered in a light spring coat that hung just below the hem of her skirt, but it was open in front, enough for Adrian to see the black sash that broke up the monochromatic dress and a neckline that held Adrian's gaze long enough that Marinette had to clear her throat to get his attention again. He glanced up to meet her eyes, lingering on the lacy black choker around her neck for a moment as he struggled to find the eloquence to describe the sight before him. Wow, Adrian was all he could say, cheeks flushing as Marinette let out a small laugh. Sorry if I'm staring here, but wow. Stare all you'd like, I appreciate it when my outfits are appreciated, Marinette said, doing a small twirl before looking Adrian over with a nod. You look very, wow as well. Oh please, men's fashion will never be as wow as women's fashion, Adrian chuckled, scratching the back of his neck. I guess that depends on who's looking though, Marinette said, rubbing her arm. Lots of people have. A sharp beep from behind her interrupted Marinette's train of thought as, for the first time, Adrian noticed something other than Marinette on the street. You guys gonna take this inside or am I going to get a front row seat? Aaliyah called, leaning out the window of her car. As touching as this is, I got places to be. Sorry, Marinette said, waving Aaliyah off. I'm good, tell Nino hi for us. Text me tomorrow. Aaliyah called, briefly making eye contact with Adrian and quickly making an I'm watching you expression with her fingers when Marinette's back was turned before winking and pulling down the street and out of sight, leaving the pair of them alone on the sidewalk. So, Marinette said, the implication of the word hanging in the air between them. So, you want to come in? Adrian said, stepping aside as Marinette shot him a teasing smile. I'm suddenly reminded of Dracula, Marinette said. Is this the part where you ask me to enter freely of my own free will, and all that? Are you afraid I'm going to bite you? Adrian said, eyeing the way her throat bobbed as she swallowed, almost considering whether that would be such a bad thing. I think if you wanted to eat me, you would have done it already, Marinette laughed, stepping into the small foyer as Adrian closed the door behind her. Or maybe I just wanted a little privacy, Adrian said, stepping forward and resting his hands on her shoulders, eliciting a small, almost inaudible gasp from her throat. Before I started eating you. A small chill ran down Marinette's spine as she realized she was close enough to smell his body wash and feel the light pass of his breath through her hair. Can I take your coat? Adrian asked. Hasn't been a minute yet and you're already trying to undress me. Marinette said, rolling her shoulders and letting him peel the coat off her shoulders. She didn't know if it was the excitement or anxiety that was more responsible for her rapid-fire flirting. Maybe she had just spent too much time bantering with him online and through text where it was easier to throw in a few one-liners here or there without his distractingly green eyes making things difficult for her. But then again, given the list she drew up Tuesday night, a little light flirting was hardly going to be the extent of what they were going to do that night. Thanks, Marinette murmured, waiting for the jacket to clear her waist to see if Alia's recommendation had paid off. Don't mention Adrian trailed off, pulling Marinette's jacket off her bare shoulders as his eyes trailed down the back of her dress. Of course, it was easy to assume the black swath of fabric that wound its way around Marinette's waist had been some kind of belt when he saw it from the front. Because his first guess wasn't that Marinette had tied a large, lacy black bow around her waist, perched on her hips like a belt, effectively making it look like she had gift-wrapped herself and was waiting to be opened. Care to give me the tour? A small cough drew Adrian's attention back to Marinette, glancing over her shoulder with a supremely satisfied smile on her face, confirming that one, Marinette chosen her outfit partly to paralyze him, and two, that she was way more of a tease than Adrian thought. Adrian, 0 Marinette, 15 Well, if that's how she wants to play it this way, Adrian said, gesturing through the archway leading from the foyer into the kitchen, living room, dining room area. Bit smaller than my last place, so won't take as long this time. Yeah, you're really slumming it, aren't you? Marinette said, shaking her head as she glanced around a room that was almost bigger than her apartment. Admittedly, it was a downgrade for Adrian, but then again, a Parisian townhouse was still a Parisian townhouse. The kitchen was outfitted in black marble and stainless steel lighting, set across from a small dining area with a table for four that looked out onto the street outside. Her heels clacked on the hardwood floor as she made her way over to the sitting room, catching her reflection in a full-length mirror lodged in a bookcase as her fingers skimmed the plush white chair in front of it. In the reflection, she could see Adrian leaning against the counter, watching her pretend to examine his book collection intently. Her hand lingered on a leather-bound copy of The Count of Monte Cristo, catching his eye in the mirror as she pulled a thin book out of the shelf with a small snort. Really? Marinette said, holding the comic book anthology up with a small smile. Nightwing. Thought Batman was too cliché, Adrian laughed, scratching the back of his neck. Kinda went on a collecting spree once I slipped Dad's leash a little, call it a reaction to a stunted childhood. I'm not judging, Marinette said, replacing the comic with a small pat. I was just always more of a Spider-Man girl myself. And just when I thought we could get along, Adrian laughed, eyes focused on her back as she pored over his bookshelf. Again, she pretended to be engrossed in what was no doubt the remnants of his father's book collection while she eyed him in the mirror behind her, taking a tiny bit of pleasure in the fact that apparently he couldn't keep his eyes off her. Acting on impulse, she leaned forward at the waist as she pretended to be engrossed in a series on business law on the bottom of the shelf. Her skirt barely rode up, but the way she was positioned meant the bow on the back of her dress rested squarely on the small of her back. Adrian let out a small snort, biting his lip and shaking his head as she slowly righted herself, turning around to flash him a warm, closed-mouth smile. Adrian, 0 Marinette, 30 You want something to drink? Adrian said, heading back over to the kitchen as Marinette perched herself on the back of his sofa. Water, fruit juice, iced tea. I'll take some iced tea, Marinette said, licking her lips and making her way over to a tall, ceiling-high set of windows that looked out from the hallway onto a small courtyard in the center of the house, complete with a set of deck chairs, fire pit, and what appeared to be some kind of waterfall feature off to one side. Incidentally, that's what sold me on the house, Adrian said, clinking a glass of tea down on the counter as Marinette made her way back to reality. The little thingy out there, whatever you call it. Good place to catch up on reading. Course I've never had time to read before now, but it's the thought that counts. Sugar. Sure, Marinette said. Say when, Adrian said, spooning in 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 tablespoons of sugar before glancing up at Marinette with a small frown. Don't tell me how to live my life, Marinette said, stirring the tea around with a straw and taking a long slurp out of it while staring unblinkingly into Adrian's eyes. I have a sweet tooth. Tooth, Adrian said, raising an eyebrow with a disbelieving smile. Singular. Oh please, I took a trip to New Orleans during school and the tea there was so sweet the straws stood up in the glass, Marinette said with almost a dreamy sigh. Say what you want about the US, but they know how to do sweets. I don't think that was ever in doubt, Adrian snorted, nodding down the hall and counting the rooms off on the side as he went. Bathrooms in here if you need it, supply closets over there in case you need. Windex or something, I don't know. Upstairs, Marinette said, glancing at the staircase across from the hall closet. My loft/computer room for now, Adrian said, flicking a light switch and leading her up the stairs past landscape shots and nature photography. They came up onto a railed landing that overlooked the living room on one side and the courtyard on the other, a sliding glass door opening onto a patio over the courtyard. Above her, she could see it opened up into the clear, starry night. Couple of extra rooms, Adrian said, opening one into a room with a punching bag and treadmill. Gym for now, across the hall's the office, another bathroom, and a guest room, or at least it will be once I get a proper bed in there. Interesting, Marinette said, tapping her chin and pushing open the door to an empty room. I assume this is the sex dungeon. Under construction, Adrian laughed, voice echoing as he flicked the light switch on, revealing an unfurnished room with bare wooden floors. I have to repaint it and install some mood lighting. Yeah, the creme-colored walls and compact fluorescents don't exactly scream perverted sex. Palace, Marinette said, cocking her head to one side. First I gotta get the stud finder, install hooks in the ceiling, get some load-bearing rope to test it, find carpet that's easily steam cleanable, decide if I want the spanking bench and the padded X-frame or if I want to put a bed in instead and then move it all up here in the dead of night where the neighbors can't see me, Adrian sighed, running a hand through his hair. Everyone wants a sex dungeon until they realize how much work it is putting it together, and maintaining it for that matter. I imagine it would kill the resale value too, Marinette said, frowning after a second. Or, improve it depending on who you're selling to. Would you really want to use a sex dungeon someone else has already used? Adrian asked, raising an eyebrow. Fair point, Marinette said with a small grimace, traipsing out of the soon-to-be sex dungeon as Adrian closed the door behind her. Your room. Bottom floor, opens into the courtyard, Adrian said as Marinette turned and wandered back down the stairs until her hand rested on the handle to his bedroom, the one with his bed, the bed that she was going to sleep in, naked, after having sex with him, Adrian, sex with Adrian, sex that was going to happen relatively soon, just in there, Adrian said, standing on the step behind her, hands in his pockets as she took a long swig of her iced tea. She opened the door, peeking her head in at the lush king-sized bed with burgundy dressing before closing the door with a small snap. So that's basically it, Adrian said, landing beside her and nodding towards the living room. You want to sit and chat for a bit? Sure, Marinette said with a small sigh of relief as she followed Adrian out away from his bedroom. She wasn't exactly dreading getting down to business, quite the opposite actually, but she was still grateful for the buffer Adrian offered, a small waiting period before their relationship invariably changed forever. She didn't know for sure, but she imagined that once one friend had another bound and naked under their touch, Tuesday night bingo was off the table. So if she was paddling into unknown waters, she was going to spend a few more minutes on shore first. How was the week? Adrian said, settling down on the sofa as Marinette perched on the loveseat. And put her tea on the table between them. Haven't talked since, well, not bad, Marinette sighed, leaning back into the cushions with a small sigh. Long though, I feel like it's been forever since Monday. I know what you mean, Adrian said, resting his ankle on his knee. Mostly since I've had absolutely nothing to do between now and then. Well, this is your first extended vacation in 13 years, Adrian laughed, scratching his forehead as he stared at the exposed crossbeams above the sitting area. Yeah, guess this is going to take some getting used to. You just need something to take your mind off it, Marinette said as Adrian's eyes wandered back over to her. Well, thanks to you, I've had something occupying my mind all week, Adrian said, lips twitching just a little as Marinette found herself reaching over for her tea. Adrian, 15, Marinette, 30. How flattering, Marinette said, resisting the urge to cool her feverish face with the side of her drink glass. Oh, of course you already know that you've been on my mind recently. You mean Tuesday? Adrian asked. And Wednesday, Marinette said, biting her lip as Adrian's eyebrows raised. And Thursday. Adrian, 15, Marinette, 45. Sounds like you've had your hands full all week, Adrian laughed. Your fault, of course, Marinette said, sticking her tongue out between her teeth. I'll be sure to make it up to you, Adrian said. You keep saying that, Marinette said, foot jiggling lightly as she crossed her legs. I'm starting to wonder if you plan to make good on it. Well, you'll just have to wait and find out then, won't you? Adrian said. I guess I will, Marinette chuckled, tucking her hair behind her ear. You okay? Adrian asked. I'm good, Marinette assured him. Really, I'm just a little nervous. I know the feeling, Adrian said with a small nod. Everybody gets those early anticipation butterflies before stuff like this. I mean, this is something I've wanted to try since I was 20 and now that I get to, Marinette trailed off with a shake of her head. There's a difference between fantasizing about something and actually doing it, Adrian shrugged. I'd be surprised if you weren't a little nervous. Especially given the, Marinette gestured between them vaguely. Experience gap. Really? Adrian said, sitting up a little. I mean, you've been with all sorts of people all over the world and I just realized I insinuated. You were a slut, Marinette laughed, downing the rest of her iced tea before she shoved the rest of her foot in her mouth. I thought we agreed that I was, Adrian laughed, standing up and making his way into the kitchen. For the record, it hasn't been that many, 9 in the last 7 years if we're being specific. Ah, Marinette said as Adrian piled the pitcher of tea in a sugar bowl on a tray and set it down on the coffee table. So your first time was back when you were 18. 19, Adrian said, settling back against the couch with a small sigh. Milan if we're being specific. Ah, was it with someone older? Marinette said before wincing a little. Sorry, shouldn't be prying. It's fine, Adrian said with a wave of his hand. She was actually my age, which made things a little easier, wasn't as intimidating for me at least. I see, Marinette said, stomach churning a little as she tried not to think of whoever this girl was. And you still talk to her. We fell out of touch, Adrian shrugged. Last time I saw her was a few years ago and haven't really heard from her since. Oh, Marinette said. That's good, she wanted to say. But it had to be bad form to get possessive over her fuck buddy before she actually started having sex with him. That's too bad. It happens, Adrian shrugged almost nonchalantly. Hard to keep in touch with people bouncing around the globe, you know. I guess, Marinette said. She was about to volunteer that she hadn't kept in touch with any of her ex-paramours, but that had less to do with geography and more to do with the fact that she generally didn't want to see them anymore. In fact, if they all moved to Paris, she might consider moving back to New York and its wonderful cannoli. I wish I could say my love life was as fantastic as yours. It's hardly a contest, Adrian said softly. Not one I'm winning anyway, Marinette said, running her fingers around the rim of the iced tea glass. Are you upset about it? Adrian asked, leaning in and resting his elbows on his knees as Marinette thought. I don't know, not upset per se, but Marinette let out a small breath of air. I'd like to completely enjoy it for once the way I want to. Not as a logical result of a third date, not as a way to kill time during a bad Super Bowl halftime show, not because I'm stressed out and need release, just because I want to be with someone, even if it's for just a short period of time. She felt the need to add the last bit as a caveat or reassurance for Adrian, who just hummed thoughtfully, folding his hands between his knees and looking across the table at her. I understand, Adrian nodded. You want to completely put focus on it for the evening. I want to know when and where it's going to happen so I can look forward to it, Marinette said with a small smile. I think I'm starting to understand what you said about anticipation making things sweeter. Do you? Adrian asked, a flash of pearly white as his mouth split into an almost hungry smile that drew her attention to his teeth and what he might use them for later. Adrian, 30, Marinette, 45, starting to, Marinette murmured, setting her iced tea down and licking her lips of the sweet, sugary syrup. So, what happens now? What do you want to happen now? Adrian asked. Honestly, I don't know how these things go, Marinette said, waving her hand. Or, what you had planned, you're still down for this then? Adrian asked, locking eyes with her across the room. You keep asking that, Marinette said, lip twitching a little. I'm starting to think you're the one with reservations. Not at all, Adrian said quickly, scratching his neck. No, I wanted you to know even though we agreed to do this, you don't have to or anything. We can cancel or reschedule if you don't. I know, Marinette nodded. I've kicked boys out of bed before and I'm not afraid to do it again, no offense. That's relieving to hear actually, Adrian said. Do you trust me? Of course, Adrian said. Then trust that I'll let you know if I don't want something, Marinette said, sitting up on the edge of the couch. Mind if I use the bathroom? Of course, Adrian nodded as Marinette stood up, skirt swirling around her legs as her heels clacked audibly down the hall. As soon as the bathroom door shut behind her, he leaned back against the couch, letting out a small gust of breath as he locked his fingers behind his head. His leg jiggled with nervous anticipation he had been bottling up in Marinette's presence. For some reason the practiced veneer of calm control was harder to maintain with Marinette looking like a black and red Christmas present sitting on his couch waiting to be opened. But maintain it he must, he was the one who needed to maintain some semblance of self-control. He didn't have the luxury of completely losing himself as she did, he idly wondered which one of them was more anxious that Marinette hadn't had experience before. There was always a learning curve when someone was just starting out and didn't quite know what to ask for. Adrian imagined that if this went past tonight he hoped it would run into a couple of snags when Marinette's fantasies didn't satisfy her the way she thought they would if his experience with electricity was anything to go by. Maybe he was just nervous because for once he had the opportunity for a semi-permanent relationship now that he was more or less in one place and didn't want to get off on the wrong foot, especially since she was trusting him to show her the ropes. Adrian suppressed a small chuckle. Trust goes both ways, he reminded himself as he stared at the beams overhead. Marinette had invested her trust in him to ensure that she was well taken care of. The least he could do was trust that she would let him know if he was doing his job correctly or not. The great fiction of their hobby was that doms wielded absolute power over their subs, and no matter how many armchair dominants bought into the fiction as fact, the fact of the matter was that she had as much power over what was happening to her as he did. Maybe more. She set her boundaries which he wasn't to cross. She had the power to stop and end a scene whenever she wanted to for whatever reasons she wanted. She had given him leave to control the evening, but that could just as easily be rescinded. And he had to trust that it would be if she was ever uncomfortable. The bathroom door clicked open and Adrian sat back up, watching Marinette pass the love seat that she had been sitting on and perch on the opposite side of his couch, nylon-covered legs crossing at the knee as she draped an arm over the back of the sofa. So, Marinette said, biting her lip, shifting a little under his gaze. So, Adrian echoed, turning to drape his arm over the couch as well, resisting the urge to reach across and run his fingers over the back of her hand. How do these evenings typically go? Marinette asked. For first-timers, I mean. Like most dates for lack of a better word go, Adrian said. Really? Marinette laughed, looking at him through her lashes. I'm half expecting you to jump me at any moment here, in due time, Adrian said, eyeing the black lace choker around her throat. Due time, Marinette's heart skipped a beat as Adrian suddenly rose, and then reached over to collect her. Marinette's heart skipped a beat as Adrian suddenly rose, and then reached over to collect her empty tea glass and carry the tray back into the kitchen. She let out a small sigh through her teeth, watching him make his way across the kitchen as desire began to smother whatever anxiety she felt. This evening had been buzzing around her head all week, dominating her waking and dreaming thoughts, and it was beginning to take its toll on her psyche, frazzled by a week of rush orders and late nights spent sleeping on her office couch. She needed some serious pampering, and while most people would have reached for a bottle of wine and a bath bomb, Marinette had a very different idea of relaxation in mind. Maybe she was weird for considering being cuffed to someone's headboard more appealing than a trip to the massage parlor, but she couldn't bring herself to care what anyone other than she and Adrian thought. Have you given any thought to your safe words? Adrian said, heading back into the living room and resuming his spot on the couch across from her. Right, those are things we need, don't we? Marinette chuckled, eyes drifting down to the scant patch of skin exposed under his collar. I like using two, Adrian said. One that stops everything and one that just lets me know I need to take things a little slower, or if you need a moment before going on. Like Uncle. Marinette snorted. Exactly, Adrian nodded, licking his lips as Marinette seemed to think for a moment. Well, what do you use? Marinette said. Something multi-syllabic that can be easily understood even if my mouth is otherwise occupied. Adrian laughed as Marinette wondered how Adrian looked when his mouth was occupied. I use mercy for my, mercy word. Can I steal that? Marinette asked. Not to be a copycat or anything, but, that sounds easy to remember. As long as you remember it, Adrian said, biting his bottom lip. And your safe word? Marinette laughed a little, shooting him a shy glance between her eyelashes. I was thinking, ladybug. I should have guessed, Adrian laughed, drawing a small scowl from Marinette. Her expression became almost devious as she tugged a throw blanket over the top of the couch, sticking a corner in her mouth as Adrian looked on a little puzzled. LHDBG, she murmured into the blanket, spitting it out as Adrian applauded politely. Sound good. Crystal clear, Adrian said, trying not to spend too much time thinking about Marinette's muffled moaning. Thank you, Marinette said, picking the blanket up and tossing it over the edge of the couch. Already learning so many valuable things. Such as? Adrian asked. That you enjoy having your mouth full, Marinette said, lips curling into a smile. Who doesn't? Adrian said, unconsciously running his tongue over his teeth. Shame that isn't going to happen for you tonight, Marinette sighed theatrically, folding her arms across her stomach and flopping back against the couch. You seem awfully sure of that, Adrian said, resting his cheek in his palm as he leaned against the couch. Are you really going to gag yourself? Marinette snorted. No, but there's more than one way to keep my mouth occupied, Adrian said, shooting a wink at Marinette that sent a flush of heat rushing to her face. Is that right? Marinette said, biting her lip. Well, now I'm curious. I thought that's what brought you here in the first place, Adrian said. Curiosity. It is, Marinette said, slipping her legs under her as she turned over on the couch. Her eyes were drawn to the way Adrian's lips moved, the way his Adam's apple bobbed when he swallowed, the way his thin white shirt fell over his shoulders and chest. She was curious about a great many things, not the least of which was what Adrian looked like completely undressed. She supposed she would get the answer to that question and many more as the night unfolded. Isn't there an English expression about curiosity in cats? Adrian asked. And about how one killed the other. Ah, Marinette said, holding her finger up. But that's only half the expression. Half? Adrian asked, stiffening as Marinette slowly drew herself up onto her knees, sliding across the couch until she knelt on the cushion next to him, hands pressed into the fabric of her skirt and looking expectantly at him. Curiosity killed the cat, Marinette said in perfect English. But satisfaction brought it back. He let out a small snort, eyes traveling over the lace choker around her neck and the way she seemed to be looking at him. If he had any doubts about whether or not she wanted to do this, the hungry glint in her eye and the way her lips hung half open quickly dispelled them. He was painfully aware of every thud of his heart, the loud ticking of the clock in the hall that seemed to count down to the moment they had both been waiting for months, years maybe. Would you like me to satisfy your curiosity then? Adrian asked, leaning forward a little. It was a question she already knew the answer to, but she still hesitated before answering it because she wanted to savor the last moment of regular friendship she and Adrian would ever have. But to be honest, regular friendship was never what she wanted from him, not from the moment he stopped to offer her his umbrella as a teenage girl. She had always wanted just a little more, and even though she wasn't getting everything she wanted, she could still be closer to him. Closer than anyone else. And if she was going to push off into uncharted waters, there was no one she would rather have showing her the way. Yes, she said clearly, locking eyes with him so there could be no misunderstanding. Adrian took a small breath, slowly straightening himself up as his mind worked through the rough outline he had planned out for the evening. Though I hope you satisfy more than just my curiosity. Well, Adrian said with a toothy smile. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Chapter end notes. Are you ready? https://www.youtube.com/watch. B equals 30 LRDWPV7U and NOHTML5 equals false. Feel free to stone me to death over the title drop, but I had to do it. The little shit in me compelled me to do so. Yeah, another cliffhanger for a couple of reasons. 1, I am an asshole who gets off on emotionally blueballing my readers. 2, I want to contain the smut in its own chapter for the most part. I know some of you signed on for the promised femdom and some of you signed on for the promised MDOM, so if you want to skip either, I'm giving you the option. Next chapter will be Adrian topping Marinette, so if you ain't down with that, you can just skip the whole scene. I'll put instructions in the chapter notes for those wanting to skip the MDOM in the next chapter and go to the vanilla sex scene. So yeah, put the kids to bed. Next chapter is going to be 10 pounds of naughty in a 5-pound bag. Smut, smut, and more smut awaits. 10 chapters into this mess and fricking is finally going to happen. Sex both kinky and vanilla is on the horizon. Like if I release this on a Sunday, God will finally decide to smite me for all my years of sinning. Seriously, I've gotten away with Fade to Blacks and Dreams up until now, but this FIC is rated E for a reason that will be apparent very soon. Very, very soon. On a serious note, we've broken 1,000 kudos, which is more than every other story I've written combined. Thank you all for your support and giving me reason to keep writing. Exclamation mark. Now if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare to die for the last time, _PS. Have some DJ Wi-Fi cutscene. http://siderealscribblings.tumblr.com/post/1426434127666/satisfaction brought it back. Chapter 9 Del